From the Fantasy Armchair, it is the Fantasy Tyrant. Hey there, fellow fantasy football freaks. Welcome back to the Fantasy Armchair. Now let me get this out of the way real quick. We only need 20 subscribers left to reach our goal of 300 by the end of this month. But we've only got a few days left to do it. Thursday's the deadline. So if you look at the number of subscribers and it doesn't say 300 and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that. And if we reach 300 by the end of the month, like I said, I'm going to have something great for you all in October. And please hit the like button if you like this content. The YouTube gods need 10% likes, so yeah, I appreciate it. So now that that's out of the way, Monday football is over and week 3 is come and gone. Tell me about your Monday night miracles or disasters down there in the comments. Less injuries this week, except for one major one. Might not be that bad actually, and I'm going to cover updates on that and many other updates, news and notes around the NFL on my new Tuesday evening show, Mixed Notes, at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll be going over all the notes in the NFL that affect fantasy managers like us. I'll warn you, Mixed Notes is not really like my regular shows, okay? It's a little bit more off the rails, as the kids like to say. Not for everyone, but if you get it, and you'll love it. That's Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. But tonight, I'll be going over my top 10 waiver wire picks for week 4. But before that, let's put a little cap on week 3 in a segment I call the Tyrade. I've been telling you the Saints D is legit, and only like half of you are listening because the Saints D is only owned in 50% of leagues. Get on it. Many of you were worried about Justin Herbert this season. Bet you ain't worried now, huh? I was never worried, and in fact had him as my bump of the week this past week on benches and bumps. Because I know he's a stud. I was talking up Devin Duvernay last season, but that never really came to fruition. Maybe I'm a season too late. We'll have to keep an eye on him. So Marquez Callaway's a total dud for 2 weeks, and then we drop him, so of course he goes off in week 3. Gotta love those fantasy gods, right? Heinous Jameis took the field once again in week 3. Do I think he's going to make it 3 weeks in a row when he faces the Giants in week 4? Come back to me tomorrow on Mixed Notes and you'll find out. Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd combined for over 36 fantasy points with Higgins out this week. Told you to start them both. Hopefully you did. I think Donald Parham of the Chargers is going to be a sleeper tight end next season. Sunday was a crazy day for kickers. First, we saw a 68-yard attempt for a record come up short, but then ended up as a different record as the Jags' Jamal Agnew ran back the missed field goal, 109 yards for a touchdown, tying Cordero Patterson for the longest run back of a missed field goal for a touchdown in history. Then we saw a 66-yard attempt by Justin Tucker to break the field goal distance record. Dude doinks it up the crossbar, and it goes in. You should have got an extra fantasy point for that, I think. Speaking of Cordero Patterson, okay, fine. He's a thing this season, I guess. Pick him up if he's still available in your league. And I really screwed the pooch telling everyone to bench Gibson this week. But to be fair, he was pretty bad in the running game. 12 attempts for 31 yards. That's about what I expected. What I didn't expect is that he was going to catch a 73-yard touchdown pass. That's supposed to be J.D. McKissic's job, for fuck's sake. One fluky play, and my otherwise good prediction looks bad. Them's the breaks. Josh Allen is a stud. I told you not to sit him against Washington, even though the matchup on paper wasn't favorable. A couple of off weeks against some stout defenses didn't scare me. And hopefully, it didn't scare you either. Never sit Josh Allen. Brown was out for the Titans, so we figured this was going to be a boon for Julio. But then he was pulled halfway to the game. No explanation, nothing. Just, this is why we can't have nice things. Over the weekend, I changed my mind on J-Rob, and this is why you gotta come back and watch the Tinker Stinker Power Hour every Sunday morning. The wheels are always turning up here, and sometimes some real epiphanies are had. I was telling everyone all Saturday and Sunday, start J-Rob. I think it's gonna turn around for him. It was a gut feeling, so I went with it, and boy did that pay off, folks. You gotta watch all my videos to see what revelations I might have. Anyway, start J-Rob the rest of the season, because I think Urban Meyer finally figured out who his top guy is on offense. Is CEH finally a thing now? Yeah, I think he is. And it's about fucking time! Hey, speaking of the Chiefs, I'm glad to hear that Andy Reid's doing okay. Andy, I hope that you get well soon, alright, buddy? And just when I think that Cliff Kingsbury has figured out that Chase Edmonds is the man there, He lets James Conner vulture 2 touchdowns from my little baby boy. And Cliffy, when I find my shit list, you're going on there twice. I've been telling everyone for weeks, pick up Rondale Moore, but don't sleep on Christian Kirk. I think he's the true number 2 wide receiver in that offense. He's got a connection with Kyler Murray. But a lot of you were like, no, it's all about Moore now. Yeah, how did that turn out yesterday, eh? Christian Kirk caught 7 of 8 targets for 104 yards. That's good for 17.4 fantasy points in PPR. Rondale Moore had 3 yards rushing and caught 2 passes for 1 yard. Told you! Like I've been saying all this past week, Danny Dimes is the new Blake Bortles. Sometimes he turns garbage into gold, but sometimes he's just pure trash. Barkley is back. Kinda. But even without a full workload, he put up big numbers this week. I don't think he's gonna rip shit up this season, but I think he's gonna be a high-end RB2, low-end RB1 rest of the season. So like I suggested on benches and bumps, lock him in as a starter. Justin Fields was sacked 9 times.
9 times?
9 times.
What the fuck, Bears O-line? Help him out. God damn. Jets, Jets suck ass. Big Ben's time has run out. I said it earlier this year, he should have retired. And then after this game, he's quoted as saying, everything hurts. Was he talking about his body, or was he talking about his soul? I think it's a little column A, little column B. Ayuk is over his hammy issue, and I told you on Freak Out or Chill Out that once his hammy's cleared, he's gonna go back to his studliness. And this week, I had him a sleeper on benches and bumps. And on Sunday, he finally scores a touchdown, puts up 14.5 fantasy points. So that's a double-decker. Told you! Najee Harris, 14 receptions. Holy Marshall Fox shit. Dude is gonna be a PPR superstar. No question about it, Sermon is the man in the Niners run game. Good to see I was wrong about Gesicki, and he finally showed up this week. He might just be a security blanket for Jacoby Brissett. So are we done worrying yet about Zeke Elliott? Dude is still an RB1, alright? Alright. And last but not least, Kyle Shanahan, start Lance now! And that's it for the tirade. But you know what that music means. That's right, it's time for my top 10 waiver wire picks for week 4. Number 10, Dawson Knox. I told you before last week's game that Josh Allen had some visions of throwing touchdowns at Dawson Knox this season. The two spent a lot of time together in the offseason getting to know each other, working on their game, probably shared a beer or two, But all that time together is starting to pay off, with Knox catching a touchdown from Allen 2 weeks in a row now. And if this tweet from Knox is an indication of the chemistry, I see big things for him in the future. Dawson Knox is a pickup for those of you who are struggling at the tight end position, especially those of you in deep leagues. He's worth an ad for sure. Number 9, Jalen Reagor. He's back on this list because no one picked him up last week, even though I said it was a good idea. I told you he had a connection with Jalen Hurts, and earlier tonight he proved me right by being the most targeted wide receiver on the team and had the most catches as well. He hit double-digit fantasy points this week, and Hurts will have better passing days, and when he does, expect a healthy dose of Jalen Reagor. I told you countless times the Jalen to Jalen connection is a thing. Anyone who watched Monday Night Football could see that, so go get Reagor now before he's gone. Number 8, Emmanuel Sanders. Is this about chasing fantasy points? A little maybe. But Sanders has always been a threat to Cole Beasley as the number 2 guy. A 2-touchdown day definitely puts him in on the fantasy radar. But I have him lower just because I think Beasley is still ahead of him in the pecking order for now. That could change though, and there's evidence to support that as Sanders gets more comfortable in this offense and builds a connection with Josh Allen. Worth a grab and stash if you can. Number 7, Dalton Schultz. I told you all at the beginning of the season, Schultz will be the guy at tight end for the Cowboys, and not so much Blake Jarwin. So far, that's been the case. Earlier tonight, Schultz caught 6 of 7 targets for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's averaging over 13 fantasy points in PPR over the first 3 weeks. And that's damn good enough for a starting tight end in fantasy. In deep leagues and 2 tight end leagues, he should already be gone, but surprisingly, he's still available in 98% of leagues. That's fucking insane. Those numbers ought to spike this week, so get him now, or it might be too late. Number 6, Terrace Marshall. Move over, Robbie Anderson, because this is the new number 2 wide receiver for the Panthers. He might even become the number 1 by the end of the season, and with Run CMC out for a few weeks at least, I could see the wide receivers getting more attention, including Marshall. He's building a rapport with Sam Darnold, and each week, I think that connection will grow stronger and stronger. It's just a matter of time before he's pushing his output to double-digit fantasy points each week. And it could start this week, as he'll be in the slot against struggling Cowboys defensive back Jordan Lewis. So get ahead of it now and snag him up for your squad. Number 5, Sam Darnold. Speaking of Sammy, I was telling you all to pick him up and start him last week, and only a few of you listened. He's only owned in 22% of fantasy leagues. I bet that number goes up, as he showed that he could be a QB1 this past Thursday when he dismembered the lowly Texans D. And after Christian McCaffrey went down with the hammy, it became clear that the passing game's going to be more dominant in that offense. Well, he's gone. And if that isn't enough of a reason to pick him up, this week, he takes on the fantasy fiesta of the Dallas Cowboys D. I think the fact that he's playing well this season just proves how much the Jets truly suck nutsack at the game of football. Darnold is a gem, and we're seeing that now. So get him while you can. Number 4, Hunter Renfrow. I said it last week, trying to figure out the Raiders wide receiver to own was like dating a stripper. Hard to do and not worth the headache. But if one guy can be consistent, even going back to last year, it's Hunter Renfrow. He just has this chemistry with Carr that's undeniable. Carr said last week that Renfrow was the hardest working dude in the wide receiver corps, and in his opinion, the most talented. We might sit here behind our phones and laptops in disagreement because we think Ruggs and Edwards are better, but you know what?
It doesn't matter what you think!
What matters is what Carr thinks, and Carr thinks he's the guy, so we should go with that. If you have the room, pick him up. Number 3, Tim Patrick. I told you all last week to pick him up, but he's still only 23% rostered. Are you fucking with me here? Look what happens when you ignore the word of the Tyrant. He's got double-digit fantasy points each week, and this past week, he had just as many targets as Cortland Sutton, but with more production. And he's still available in 77% of leagues? With Jerry Jeudy out for a while, and KJ Hamler now down for the season, I see a lot more targets and a big season for Tim Patrick. All of you fools who picked up Cephas, even though I told you not to bother, drop him and get Patrick. And maybe this week, you keep your head out of your ass and listen up. One can hope anyway. Number 2, Peyton Barber. This is strictly if Josh Jacobs is out in week 4. And if we don't know by the time waivers are ready to clear, he might be worth the gamble. Now, if you're a Josh Jacobs owner and you don't own him yet, what's your deal? You new to the game or something? Go get him now. But anyway, I've been saying for the past 2 weeks, despite practically all other analysts talking about Drake's receiving back upside, that Peyton Barber's the backup running back to own for the Raiders. Maybe this week you'll listen. If Jacobs is out again, Barber is a high upside RB2 against the Chargers D, who just made CEH look like the guy we all thought he'd be last season. If Barber starts, he could shred them up. So just in case Jacobs is out, Peyton Barber is worth a pickup this week. Go get him. And my top waiver wire target for week 4, Chuba Hubbard. CMC is down. If you own him and you don't have Hubbard, you deserve to sit and watch while someone else grabs him off the waivers this week and kills it with him the next few weeks. If you don't own CMC, pick up Hubbard at a priority, because even if you don't have the need to use him, package him up with someone else from your bench and get a major asset for your team by trading him to the CMC owner in your league. So whether it be to utilize him as a solid RB2 or better the next few weeks against the likes of Dallas, Philly, and Minnesota, or as trade bait to fleece the McCaffrey owner in your league, Chuba Hubbard is a premium pickup this week. Yeah, it's a slow waiver wire week when Hubbard's the premium pickup, but that's where we are right now. So if he's out there for you, whether you own CMC or not, go get Chuba, or you're going to miss out. Now some other guys worth mentioning here. Zach Moss, Christian Kirk, and Cole Beasley. They're owned in just over 50% of leagues, but if they're available in yours, that's the real top 3 this week. Kendrick Bourne's a speculative ad if James White is injured long-term. Khalif Raymond was getting a lot of buzz in the Lions training camp this preseason. I think we're starting to see why. This guy could be for real, unlike Cephas. Keep an eye on him at least. And if there's any indication this week that Jimmy G's losing favor with Kyle Shanahan, go get Trey Lance. Please, Kyle. Oh, please start Trey Lance. Come on. And that's it for all my waiver wire pickups this week. Hope that helps. My waiver wire show blew the fuck up last week. So let's do it again. Please like and share with everyone you know. Post it on Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, that adult social community that you're embarrassed to admit you're a part of. Wherever you can, share it. We need 20 more subscribers in the next few days to reach our goal of 300. We hit that goal, and you'll find out what I've got planned for you in October. And while you're at it, check out my Patreon. I've got exclusive content coming, including this week, where I've got my ranking articles coming out, and some more surprises coming soon. Plus, that's how you get one-on-one advice from this guy in your chat. I know I've been a little bit lenient for some of you, letting you chat me up and giving you free advice. But I gotta start buckling down on that, okay? Dude's gotta eat, feed his kids, that kind of thing. Plus, with no money, there might not be any show. So if you can afford $5 a month to keep me and this show alive, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you all so much for your support. You'll get all the exclusive content, one-on-one advice, and more. So it's not like you're not getting anything out of it. Sign up today and I'll give you a shout out, just like my super freaks, Richard, otherwise known as Kylo Ren Kardashian on YouTube. That's a pretty cool damn name. Gotta give him props for that. And Matt, otherwise known as Gods Amongst Men, because that's the name of his band, Gods Amongst Men. Go check him out. If you're a metalhead, you're gonna love it. Now, if you want your own free plug or shout out, check me out on Patreon. Links down there in the description. Thanks again for your support and viewership. Tomorrow night, Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Mixed Notes, live. Come with your questions, and I'll answer all that I can. I hope to see you all there. Until then, I'm out. Peace.